Xian received a call saying that the financial journalist had arrived early and asked if she should wait. He said, "No need to wait, let her come in." Su Yuling was brought in, and she greeted Xian. Xian looked up, glanced behind her, and asked who she was. She introduced herself as Su Yuling, a financial journalist. She explained that her colleague had some last-minute issues, so she was filling in for the interview today. Xian requested to see her interview outline before proceeding, and she handed it to him. After reviewing it, he said, "Let's begin." Su Yuling then proceeded to ask him questions based on the outline. Zhen Shuyi arrived at Xian's company on time. As she checked the visitor log at the entrance, she noticed Su Yuling's signature and couldn't help but wonder what kind of situation was about to unfold. She found Assistant Chen and mentioned that she had come as scheduled for an interview with Xian. Chen responded, "Weren't you unavailable today? Your colleague has already conducted the interview on your behalf. She came early, and since Xian had some free time during lunch, he accepted the interview on your behalf as per your request." Zhen Shuyi apologized, saying, "I see, I'm sorry for the lack of internal coordination on our part." However, at that moment, Xian came out of his office. Seeing Xian passing by, she caught up and mentioned their scheduled interview. Assistant Chen intervened, stating the interview had concluded, asking her to leave. Despite her anticipation, she highlighted 5 crucial questions about Yunchuang's future development. Xian, intrigued, asked for the questions. They included Yunchuang's independence, collaboration with Guan Capital, and Professor Yu's return. Xian, after a moment of thought, instructed her to follow him. While in the elevator, Xian's phone rang. He glanced at it and promptly hung up. Immediately after, Assistant Chen's phone rang, and an angry voice of a girl on the other end demanded her little uncle to answer the call. Zhen Shuyi thought to herself, "It must be the third girl." Xian instructed Chen not to let her disrupt his work, to which Chen agreed. They arrived at Xian's driver's seat, and he said, "Zheng, I have a 2-hour drive ahead. Get in, we can talk on the way." In her mind, she thought, "I didn't expect to interview Xian in this way." In the car, Zhen Shuyi noticed Xian sitting upright and thought, "Shan Shan, your tactics are not working, Xian doesn't even acknowledge me." She cautiously tried to move closer, but he adjusted his arm, creating more space. After an awkward moment, Xian said, "I have limited time, Ms. Zheng, so let's proceed with your questions." Zhen Shuyi agreed and introduced herself, proposing a casual conversation to enhance the interview. Xian agreed, asking, "What do you want to talk about?" Zhen Shuyi suggested a brief introduction before starting the formal interview. Zhen Shuyi said, "While I missed the chance to interview you at Huana Manor, I did see you. I also learned about Yunchuang's collaboration with Guan Capital. Will this be officially announced soon, and are there plans for joint ventures?" Xian looked at her without answering. She asked, "Did I say something wrong?" He replied, "Why do you think Guan Capital wants to collaborate with Yunchuang? What do you think the collaboration will entail?" The formal interview continued, and as the car neared its destination, Xian asked, "Any more questions?" After a brief pause, she added, "One more question, why did you leave Minjiao Group to start your own business, and did your father support this decision?" Reflecting on his father's advice, Xian shared, "My father, feeling the limitations of age, acknowledged Minjiao's survival owed much to old friends. He entrusted Minjiao's future to me, though he doubted the success of my chosen path. Despite knowing the challenges, I felt compelled to give it a try." The car entered Guan Estate's horse farm. Zhen Shuyi got out of the car and looked around. Xian told her, "You can go back now." Perplexed, she thought, in the middle of nowhere, how am I supposed to go back? Xian made me feel so embarrassed. No, I can't just give up like this. I came here in this car, so I'll go back in this car too. She caught up with him and asked if she could record some of the interview for audio content in their digital magazine. Xian agreed, emphasizing the need to maintain the integrity of his viewpoints. As she posed a final question about his relationship status, he continued walking without responding. In a rush, she redirected the question to Yun Chuang's investment in lean tech, expressing concerns about short-term returns. Xian questioned if this was to satisfy readers' curiosity, to which she justified it as a professionally researched inquiry. Just then, the president of Guan Group called out to Xian from a distance. Excitedly, Zhen Shuyi approached President Guan, introducing herself as a financial journalist. President Guan inquired if she knew him, and she explained her background in journalism and finance. President Guan acknowledged her and mentioned seeing her articles. Zhen Shuyi expressed her admiration, emphasizing how President Guan's influence had been present throughout her college days and now at work. President Guan smiled, noting her youthfulness. Guan remarked that Xian didn't inform him beforehand about bringing a girlfriend, catching him unprepared. Before he could explain, Zhen Shuyi interjected, "I heard, Mr. Guan, that your biggest hobby is horseback riding. It's truly beautiful here." Guan responded, "The horses outside are nothing compared to the ones inside. Let's go take a look." She agreed, saying, "Sure." Approaching Xian, she asked about the situation, and he informed her that he needed to change. She offered to wait for him. Guan joined them with a horse, questioning how long she had known Xian. She admitted it hadn't been long. When asked if she could ride, she declined. Guan suggested trying riding and offered his wife's riding clothes for her to change into. She agreed, saying, "Okay." Guan led her into the changing room. Xian watched her go with a somewhat reluctant and heavy expression. Guan took out riding clothes and said, "My wife's body shape is similar to yours. These should fit you." She thanked Guan. As she was almost done changing, she heard the door closing as Xian left. She called out, "I can't tie this belt. Can you help me?" He turned and walked towards her changing room, noticing the curtain was closed. Thinking to himself, "Is he trying to mess with me?" he decisively turned away, loudly saying, "Can't tie it? Then don't ride." She opened the curtain, confirmed Xian had left, and said to herself, "Merkasi said, when a woman wants to pursue a man, there's no wall she can't climb, no fortress she can't break down, no concern she can't cast aside, not even a god who can restrain her. What I'm facing now is just a small rejection. Zhen Shuyi, you can do it. Step over it." Approaching, Guan suggested, "Xian, teach her to ride." Xian, holding another horse, joined them. Zhen Shuyi expressed admiration for the horse, calling it a handsome little prince. Xian corrected her, saying it's a mare named Dodo. She then referred to it as a little princess and asked Xian to lead the horse for her. Xian jumped on the horse, settling behind her, explaining, "This way, I can teach you to ride." She mentioned it was her first time on a horse and felt nervous. He told her to relax and learn seriously. Guan, watching from a distance, waved to them. Xian told her to sit tight, then urged the horse into a gallop. She screamed in fear, nearly falling off the horse. She dismounted, taking deep breaths. He asked, "What's wrong? Not learning anymore?" She replied, "No more learning, just wanted to experience it." While Zhen Shuyi was drinking water to recover from the fright, she overheard Guan questioning Xian about scaring her. Xian defended her bravery, and Guan mentioned how he had invited Xian to relax at the horse farm before. Xian explained it was a sudden decision to come today. Guan teased about Zhen Shuyi being Xian's type, to which Xian clarified they weren't in a relationship. Guan suggested it could change with time, and Xian agreed, relating it to the potential developments with lean tech. Zhen Shuyi asked herself, "He must have deliberately embarrassed me in front of President Guan just now." Guan said to Xian, "I had some concerns about you, but now I feel reassured. Investing in Li Ying isn't a bad idea. Just make sure you don't upset your father's old friends, the previous Minjiu supporters who are also Yun Chuang's shareholders. If they're unhappy, it could bring a lot of trouble. However, if the decision is correct, all the dissatisfaction will be temporary." Guan said to Xian, "I had some concerns about you, but now I feel reassured. Investing in Li Ying isn't a bad idea. Just make sure you don't upset your father's old friends, the previous Minjiu supporters who are also Yun Chuang's shareholders. If they're unhappy, it could bring a lot of trouble. However, if the decision is correct, all the dissatisfaction will be temporary. Guan asked about Little Yu, and Xian confirmed her return, expressing the intention to find her a job. Guan proposed having her intern at Guan Group, specifically at Guanji, and Xian joked about the uncertainty of who would be working for whom. Guan suggested that Zhen Shuyi could guide Little Yu in her role as a reporter. Xian questioned Little Yu's capability, and Guan emphasized the potential for growth, stating that Little Yu is a smart girl and can succeed with the opportunity. Zhen Shuyi changed back into her own clothes and returned to sit on the side, observing their conversation. After watching her for a while, Xian said to Guan, "All right, let's give Little Yu a chance to try being a reporter." Xian and Zhen Shuyi entered the car, and Xian inquired about Chen Sheng. The driver informed him that Chen had returned to the company for an urgent matter. Xian then directed the driver to take Zheng reporter back. In her thoughts, Zhen Shuyi pondered the lack of hospitality, sacrificing sleep and meals throughout the afternoon. She considered treating them to a meal but observed Xian deeply engrossed in his work, finding his focus captivating. As Zhen Shuyi continued to think, she eventually fell asleep. Seeing her head tilting towards him, he quickly adjusted his shoulder to let her rest her head. When Zhen Shuyi woke up, she found only herself and the driver in the car. She asked, "Where's Xian?" The driver replied, he had something to attend to and went back to the company. Xian instructed the driver, "Once she wakes up, ask if she has any other requests. Make sure to see her home." The driver replied, "Sure, Mr. Shi." In her mind, Zhen Shuyi thought, "What's going on? He left me sleeping in the car and took off himself." After getting out of the car, she muttered to herself, "What's this? Falling asleep in the interviewee's car, so unprofessional. And I slept so deeply, I don't even know if I made a fool of myself. Oh well, my earrings are gone too. It's just $25 anyway." With that, she limped her way home. Manager Chen thanked Xian for the late meeting. Xian explained that Lai Ying could offer what they needed, thanks to Yun Chuang's investment in Lin. Chen expressed his dilemma, considering Lai Ying's tempting offer. Xian emphasized that Lai Ying was still pursuing their investment, and the confirmation of sufficient funds for acquisition was pending. Xian stressed the long-term collaboration between Yun Chuang and Lin for Chinese semiconductor technology. Despite Chen's urgency for immediate funding, Xian assured him of expediting the investment process. Zhen Shuyi sent a message to Shan Shan on WeChat, saying, "My legs are bruised from the horse saddle. For the sake of an article, my whole body is falling apart. It's really not easy." Shan Shan replied, "Come on, let's go for a massage." Zhen Shuyi said, "No, I have to finish the article." Xian returned to the office and earnestly examined Lin's documents. Zhen Shuyi took out the interview recordings and began to draft her article. Yi editor-in-chief commended Zhen Shuyi on her well-written article, to which she modestly replied that it wasn't challenging. She proposed the idea of featuring Xian's audio on the electronic publication, acknowledging the budget constraints but volunteering to do it for free, drawing from her past experience. Zhen Shuyi suggested waiting for a larger readership before seeking additional resources. Yi editor-in-chief praised her dedication, saying, "You are truly committed.